Hello, thank you for joining me. My name is Rochelle Camille. If you like what you're hearing and you love spending time with me, please like, subscribe, and share this video. Also, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, either at Rochelle Camille Shares or Rochelle Camille. Now, today we're going to do a second part to a video I created yesterday that will be posted today as well. And it is what to do if you have been fired or if you're looking for a new job or you've left a toxic environment. And today we're going to focus on like the resume part, the resume and cover letter part. But before I do any type of job search, I take a period of time and I seek God. I don't only seek God about the next position, I seek God on what to do now. So, and this gives you a chance to be honest with God about where you are wanting to go, what you desire to do, what you feel like He's placed in your heart. And like for me, I don't mind working, but in my heart of hearts, I would want to build my own. This is why I don't do MLMs or multi-level marketing, because I have to adhere to somebody else's rules, somebody else's branding ideas, all these other things. However, the business that God is helping me create is divinely inspired, and that's why it's called Seize Your Development. Because I want you to grab hold to your development and allow God to lead you and to stretch you and to do what you're called to do. Now, going back to the resume. Now, you seek God first about your heart of hearts, things that you struggled with at the last job, things that you didn't understand, so He can give you clarity. But above all, what position should I take next? Not only what position, what kind of company? Should it be in person? Should it be remote? Should it be a hybrid? Go to God and ask God for all these details, asking for the income range, what industry, whether it's retail, food, aerospace, finance, whatever the industry is. And then also ask God the size of the company. And I promise you, He will hear you. If you are a person with disabilities, to find a company that is really inclusive with making sure that you feel comfortable and you have all the tools that you need. If you're a person that came from a very toxic environment where it's very competitive, to put you in an environment that is nurturing so you can heal as you are learning and growing. If you weren't challenged in your last position, ask God to put you in a place where your skills are challenged, you are being stretched. So that's why in Matthew it says, seek ye the kingdom of God first, and all these things will be added unto you. Because wherever you work, God is sending you. He's using your skills and He's using your gift to send you to where He wants you to be an agent of change, what some people say, or be a light, or just be an example of what it means to be a true believer in God. Okay? Now, if you can't afford it, or you have someone that you know that will walk with you and kind of help you revamp your resume, go to them. Now, when people come to me, I do ask them a whole slew of questions. And depending on the type of job, I even give them projects to assess their skill level to see if it's at a place that, even though they may not have the experience, but they may have the talent in that field. Also too, I ask questions like, what are your goals in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself going? Challenges, what you love to do in a job, what you don't like to do in a job. Because every position you take, there are going to be things you'd like to do and some things you don't like to do. Like, for example, I think for me, my best job was when I was a customer experience coordinator and I did a lot of analysis. Now, the one thing I didn't like doing was going through millions of comments and having to manually put them in the right categories before I could even do an analysis. And even though I like one part, I need to do the part I didn't like to do this part. Now, what happens if you're put in a position and you want to know, God, how can I use my spiritual giftings? One of my spiritual giftings is being in the prophetic, being highly attuned to those that I serve. And for me, I saw that very well I saw that used in a very good way when I was in EA. I'm an EA for a real estate company. And I served two people. I served a pair of brothers. And I still love them to this day. I wish them all the best. However, it was this one particular day, and this particular person, this man, he was bearing off everybody's head. Everybody's like, what's wrong with you? What's going on with him? Like, Rochelle, find out. And I took a moment and I prayed. I'm like, God, give me insight. What's happening today? And God said he hasn't meditated in a while. And he's not a believer in Jesus. However, God said he hasn't meditated in a while. And I didn't go to him and say, you need to meditate. Now, every once in a while I did that, but in this particular thing, I kindly sent him a text message or a WhatsApp, and I said, sir, I think we need to take out a moment to meditate this afternoon. And you know what he sent back? He said, you are right. I have not meditated in 2 weeks. So we canceled a couple of appointments. He stayed in his office and he did his meditation ritual, and he was able to find some kind of balance. Now, for me, that's how God used one of my giftings in this scenario. I have countless scenarios where God used it. At the same time, you have to know God wants to also use your spiritual giftings in those arenas that he sent you, to make you sensitive to the environment, to change the environment if it's toxic, to add to the environment if it's a good environment, to stretch, to engage with people, talk to people, train people, like lift them up. It's not always going to people and say, hey, I'm a Christian, I do this and and you're going to help. It's not that. How are you impacting people in your day-to-day lives? And this is a tidbit for those who desire to own their own business. You need to treat every company like it's your own. Every company like it is your own. You have to protect how money is spent. If you are able to manage budgets and you have permission to spend money of buying the company in contracts on behalf of the company in contracts, you have to know, how are you treating your colleagues, those that you answer to, and those that answer to you. How do you treat everybody? Because if you're looking to be your own CEO or your own boss, how you treat people is important. How you treat your employees. Do you have a culture code that you live by? Do you have all that you need to do what you need to do? Do you know how to manage a budget? Do you know how to set a baseline? Do you know what you want to do? Like, these are things as a potential employer or a business owner you need to know. Like, one of the things I love to do, and I didn't realize that, is doing money utilization analysis. Like, how well am I using this money? How well am I, and according to the industry standard, how much am I getting out of it? And this is why in today's market, they keep talking about inflation, because inflation reduces your utilization of the money. You get less with the same amount. Now, that is just for those who feel like God is calling them to be their own business owner. But also this applies to those that feel like God is calling them to be an executive or a CEO or a director of some type. You have to treat the places you work like it's your own. You steward what you are given well. And it's not only the physical resources, but your people resources, cultural resources, how you, like, all that matters. So when you come to me for resumes, cover letters, I dig deep, because I want to make sure wherever God is sending you to, he is literally directing you for you to get better, for you to get stronger, to become wiser, to have more ability, to be well-versed and flexible in your skills and how you apply them. I don't just, hey, you want a job? I'm going to plug you here. I just can't. Also, too, how you present yourself on your resume. Today, you cannot just list a list of tasks. Today, you have to put the impact that you made. So, for example, I saw this on LinkedIn, and on one side it had change the light bulb. On one side it said, I upgraded the illumination equipment with no downtime, and something about health and safety. Light bulb, health and safety, no downtime, upgrading equipment. Like, if you think about those two things, this is the perception that you understand health and safety, you understand the issues around downtime, the financial loss, the productivity loss, and also too, about equipment management. And I'm not saying that I change a light bulb or I change the water filter is not important, but it's how you market and how you talk about yourself. If you manage budgets, if you establish baselines, do that. I've managed close to just over $1 million budgets. But before I even got to the $1 million budget, I needed to know how to manage a $2,000 budget. And what I've learned in the business world, I apply at home. My home is a business. I have to take as good care of that as I do somebody else's money, because eventually in my own business is my money. It's not my money in the sense that I own it, but God has given me a level of stewardship. So what I want you to understand, this is where wisdom comes in. This is where we become strategic, but we're also pure. We're innocent. That means we don't have motives. So if God is saying you need to go take a job somewhere and you don't want to, you be honest with God and God will grace you. I just want you to know that I want you to understand that. I want you to kind of get that in your brain. Your job is a mission. It's not only about you. It's not only about your finances. It is a mission. So if you're desiring leadership and mentorship and all these things, who are you helping in your circle? Who are you lifting up? Who are you building up? Because that's what a leader does. You don't have to manage people to be a leader. You don't have to at a position to say, I'm the boss, so you should follow me. A great leader gets the people's trust even if they don't manage them. Do people trust you? Can they trust you with their finances? Can they trust you with their personal things? Do you protect them? And do you honor them even if they're not the best? And I know for those who have had toxic managers and stuff, or managers that didn't see your potential and all those other things, it hurts. I know, because I've made mistakes in that area. At the same time, I had to go back. I had to pray about it, and God made me go back and apologize. Even though I wasn't wrong in my assessment, I was wrong because I lacked the honor of that person. Not necessarily him, but his position. Because if I make a decision in the future that my people will not understand, I need them to trust me and honor me. Because if I don't have the trust and I don't have the respect, I won't be effective. I won't go as far. It causes toxicity in the workplace. It causes rips in the culture. It's a lot of things that happen when we decide to dishonor, disgrace, or disrespect someone. So I know these last two videos are a bit long. However, I want you to know when it comes to that resume, everything is important. Also, too, with your cover letter, you explain the skills you have that are not in your resume. Talk about your passions. If you've job hop, talk about why you job hop. Don't go into explicit detail, but just say, I learned this at this company, did this at that company, and I left these different companies whether there was no growth potential or the environment was not conducive to my needs, whether that's work-life balance, toxic culture, not being challenged, whatever it is. But do your best to make sure you sound confident and sure. Even if you're not sure, God will step in the gap if He is telling you where to go. Remember here, you are loved, you are seen, you are heard, and most of all, you are prayed for. And we are praying that even though Satan desires to sift you as wheat, Jesus is praying that your faith fails not. This is something that Jesus said to Simon Peter in Luke, I think it's 22:32. So God is praying that your faith fails not, even though Satan desires to destroy you. Just know this: you won't be destroyed. You will not be defeated. You will not come out less than. You will not. I love you. I honor you. I see you, and we are praying for you. And have a wonderful day.